I get like, if you try and push in, I'm not having it. I don't know the answer to this, but I've noticed Brits get annoyed by it. I need to look more mature and have a tea. People think Brits are so polite, but really it's all strategy. Don't question it, they come for you. Brits don't have to abide by your laws. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette and I moved to the UK in May last year and I am documenting my experiences of British life. As I've been here almost a year and I have been working and living in British culture. Oh, what do you want, bambino? So dramatic. I'm fortunate to work in quite a multicultural company, and there's definitely, I've witnessed, maybe even been a part of, some situations where I've learnt what not to say to British people because they get very annoyed. And also I hear horror stories from friends who are Brits of like just ignorant tourist things to say. So I thought I'd make a video going through, if you're coming to the UK, what not to say to a British person. Because you don't want to make this faux pas. However, they're so passive aggressive and lovely and sarcastic that you probably wouldn't even know you've offended them, to be honest, because they'll just take it on the chin and keep going and probably say something sarcastic that you'll probably miss. because their sense of humor is so dry. The first thing that annoys almost all Brits is, are you from London? Because one, the UK is bigger than just London. Secondly, most people in London aren't from London. So you never get a yes to that. Well, not never, but you'd very rarely get a yes to that answer, because even I've got two friends, I got more than two friends, but for example, I've got two friends who live near me. Are they from London? They live here. Where are they originally from? Bristol and Ireland. So are they from London? And all you're going to do by saying that is annoy people who aren't. And if you're right, then yeah, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm from London, like I was born here, blah blah blah, and like that's cool, but like you're better off just saying, where in the UK are you from? And then they can tell you, and then you don't look ignorant. Yeah, cool, you're welcome. The second question that annoys Brits is, do you know the Queen? Have you met the Queen? What's the Queen like, etc. I don't know where this came from. Like, if you went to America and was like, oh, what's Donald Trump like? Have you met Donald Trump? Like, no one's met him really. Like, statistically, out of the however hundreds of millions of people are in America, and how many people Donald Trump's actually met, statistically, not many. The Queen, even more so, because she's under lock and key. She's like so heavily protected because of the monarchy, and has been her entire life. So I don't know why people think like you can just go around her house for tea. I think it can be a bit patronizing by assuming that. So best not to ask that. I'm sure there's a more tactful way you could ask, but I'm pretty sure if you've met the Queen, they'll tell you, like you won't need to ask. Because like it never happens, and it's pretty exciting when you do meet her. Imagine, I would love to meet her, I love her so much. But also she's quite old and I'm not anywhere near worth meeting. The next one, I've heard this happens a lot with Americans, and I'll explain why. They'll often say, why is the food so bad? Now, I think that's because food in America tends to be quite sugary. Everything's like sugary and like designed and processed and like basically engineered to like play off your taste buds. But I just think it's very rude to turn up to someone's house and say, someone's country, and to say everything tastes like rubbish. Like that's just like, imagine if you went to someone's house and said that. Like it is so rude. So obviously, very justifiably, people get defensive. Don't say that. Just like be more specific, you know. British food isn't as sweet as Americans, or I miss the sugar. You know, be specific, because I think generalizations, don't assume, because that makes an arse out of you and me. Leading on to that, Americans seem to think it's quite weird that Brits eat beans for breakfast, like baked beans on toast. Oh, I think beans are actually an all-day food. You can have them for dinner, breakfast, snack, middle of the night. Beans are all the time. Beans don't have to abide by your laws. I don't know what's so weird about that, to be completely honest. Because even if you go to like Asian cultures, they eat like stir-fry for breakfast, and I can't, like, there's just something in my head that's like, I can't handle this flavor this early in the morning, but like power to you for eating fried rice at 8 a.m. And I know if you go to South America, or Latin America, it's like rice and beans are like the national food and breakfast food and that. So it's very much a westernized thing of Western thing of having like just bacon and eggs and toast and like limiting the breakfast foods. I don't think there's that just like line in the sand in like most other cultures that say like you could only eat this food before this time. It is quite weird. And I almost feel like British food doesn't really fall into that, because like you could have bacon for dinner, you could have beans for dinner, you could have eggs for dinner. What else? Sausages you could definitely have for dinner. So if you take a fry up, all the elements you could have at any other time of the day, just together is considered a breakfast thing. So, but in America you wouldn't really have like pancakes or scrambled eggs for dinner. Like they seem to segregate their food more. Interesting. I don't know why. You tell me. Why do you like tea so much? I don't know the answer to this, but I've noticed Brits get annoyed by it. I think maybe because if you're British and you don't like tea, I think you're reminded constantly, because everyone's like, what, you don't have tea? Because I don't drink coffee. And I often, in Australia, who are very much coffee snobs, everyone's always like, oh my God, you don't drink coffee? Oh my God. And then I have to put up with that. So I imagine it's the same with tea here, but I've just like learnt to drink tea because like I can't go to these like office meetings and just be drinking hot chocolate like a child. So I was like, I need to look more mature and have a tea. But I don't drink coffee. So I think people who don't drink tea get very angry if you assume they do. I don't even know why because I could say, oh, the weather's, you know, a bit cozier, so you want a warm drink, but like there's other cold places in the world that aren't as obsessed with tea, you know, like Canada is colder than the UK, and like north half of North America, do you know what I mean, like in New York, Wisconsin, those places, Chicago, they're all very cold, but they're not as tea driven. So I don't know what it is, but don't question it, they come for you. I'm just warning you. This one's my favorite. If you don't ask a Brit person why are you so polite, because they'll just get confused, because Brits can be quite rude, but like sarcastically, which I love because it's like so sass and it's the best. So, but I did a video not long ago about like what Brits really mean, just that entire video. Watch that, that's what that question means. It's like, they'll say like, not bad is good and quite good is bad. Like, so if you think, oh, they're so polite, they say everything's like quite good, they're saying everything's rubbish, you know. So a lot of that, or like thanks, and then they'll like drop their face when you turn around, or it's like just so passive aggressive. So if you speak Brit, you'll realize it's not as polite as assumed. I will say you're all good drivers, and I don't care who in the comments argues with me, but everyone in England, everyone in Britain, because I have driven in Scotland and Wales, is fantastic drivers. Everyone's so lovely. The only people who are not, and I'm so sorry, you're probably getting comfy in the comments, van drivers, like a white van driver, always wild card no matter what country you're in. Australia, America, the UK, white van drivers make their own rules and you just stay away. The next one is, why do British people like to queue so much? Once again, I don't know the answer to that, but I love that they do, because I'm a very like reserved, quiet person. I literally make videos on my own, I'm introverted, so like if you push in front of me, I'm not gonna like call you out, but oh man, me in a Disneyland or like a theme park, oh, I get like, if you try and push in, I'm not having it. But I won't say anything, never. I'm British on the inside, I promise. Like I'll stand there with my foot jutted out, like just in front of them, like well, I was here, as you can see, or left, and then you slowly shift your weight onto that leg and then you get in front of them. Or if you have a handbag, real good, recommend a handbag, because then you can just like use your handbag to like bash them back. So great. And then if they say anything, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. How did this happen? This is why people think Brits are so polite, but really it's all strategy. And I'm just like it. I'm all in. Gotta respect the line, gotta respect the queue. Everyone gets their turn, you take it, you stand in the line and you wait, and patience is a virtue, and I love British people for it. I don't have any time for people who don't respect a queue. Why does everyone love Mary Berry? I feel like Mary Berry is everyone's grandmother. I don't have any grandmas anymore, unfortunately. So I think Mary Berry is my surrogate grandma, and I think because she was on Bake Off for so long, which obviously she's not now, and to be honest, I don't like Prue as a replacement. I'm sure she's a lovely person, but just Mary Berry had such big shoes to fill that I don't know if anyone even could have, so Prue was kind of set up to fail. And then she's just known for her like soggy bottom, and like, not her soggy bottom, that's weird, cakes with a soggy bottom, and she's just so sweet and kind and lovely, and she just seems like the nicest. And I don't think there's a person who wouldn't want her as a grandma. She's so cute. I think she's like the Queen, but a bit more personable. Like, we all love the Queen, but there is definitely like, you don't know her as a person really, you only know what the palace puts out. Whereas Mary Berry, oh my gosh, one, her name is amazing. Secondly, she has a bit more of a connection with the audience just because of, you know, society, and like she's not a royal, so makes it a bit easier. So I think people associate her as like the Queen. They take their affection for the Queen and put it on her. Same with David Attenborough. Absolute national treasures. I don't want to live in a world where they don't exist. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, when they pass, we need to have like a week of mourning as a country. Like, they're amazing. David Attenborough, what a guy. I love him so much. His Blue Planet's like the only thing I watch on BBC. I'm basically paying the license just for that show. Last but not least, but you said you were fine. If a British person says they're fine or it's fine, it's the opposite of fine. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. So if you're like, oh, you're fine to take this meeting with this client that's awful and everyone hates, yeah, it's fine. And then they get annoyed and, you know, put salt in your coffee or salt in your tea or something, and then, but you said you were fine. Obviously they weren't fine. It's just like a way to be polite and get on with it, you know? Classic British. Just smile, get on with it. Just, yeah, it's fine, whatever, I'll deal with it later. But you can't help them for having their feelings. Everyone should talk about their feelings more. I feel like the world would be a better place. Hopefully this video helped you if you are moving to the UK or visiting the UK for the first time. Don't have a faux pas and say any of these things to British people, because you'll either be accosted and people will tell you off, or you'll be witness to some beautiful British sarcasm and dry wit when they insult you. So give this video a thumbs up if you agree and you're British and you do any of these things, which I should get 10,000 thumbs up, because I know you all say it's fine when it's not. Tell me in the comments below if there's any other things that foreigners or tourists say to British people that kind of grind your gears and get on your nerve, so then we can share the love and tell people so they don't get in trouble. And remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit subscribe so I can see you next time. So close to 10,000 subs. It would be amazing if by the time I get back from my holiday I am on 10,000, or I could celebrate on holidays. That would be amazing. If you don't know, I'm currently in Egypt. Feel free to go over to my Instagram and catch up, because I'm sure I'm having lots and lots of fun in a dry, sunny weather, unlike where I am right now, which is a rainy, rainy England.